What's going on? What's going on this wonderful Wednesday? This is your boy Capree Classic, and you're listening to the Capree Classic Show, and you're tuned in to WGODradio.net, the number one internet radio station in the world.
In the world, hold on. In the world, Craig. Yeah.
The echo threw me off in the beginning.
Right. Understand.
It's a gloomy Wednesday here in the D. You know, I always assumed that everybody listening is from Detroit, right. But this is an internet station, so we are worldwide. So I need to stop assuming only people from Detroit is listening. So we are a station here. Actually, it's not Detroit. It's actually Southfield.
Right across the street from Detroit.
Right across the street from Detroit. But yeah, it's kind of gloomy. It's officially fall season. The leaves is turning colors.
Wow.
This is my favorite time of the year because it's football season. Every sport that you could think of is going on right now: baseball, basketball, football, and hockey. So this is
basketball going on?
Yeah, they just started preseason games Sunday.
Preseason, gotcha.
Yeah.
And they about to go into the World Series right now.
Yeah.
Playoffs.
Well, the playoffs getting ready to start. Actually, the first playoff game was last night.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was the Tigers? Did the Tigers win?
No.
No Tigers.
No. But they did very good. They exceeded expectations. They were supposed to be trash this year.
Okay. I like all Detroit teams be trash.
Yeah, pretty much.
We the home of losers.
Pretty much.
What's today's topic, Cap?
Today's topic, we're going to finish a conversation on, the topic is current events. Last week, we were supposed to talk about Kelly Price and then the R. Kelly verdict, but we got stuck on Kelly Price. Today, we're going to talk about R. Kelly, his verdict, and then the bigger conversation is going to be, I threw out there that there is some R. Kelly in all of us.
Oh,
yeah.
Wait a minute. There's some R. Kelly in all of us?
There's some R. Kelly in all of us.
I gotta use the bathroom. I'll be right back. I'll be right back.
Right. Well, before we get into that, I want to talk real quick about, and actually, the word of the day is going to tie into the R. Kelly topic, but I want to talk about this Facebook and IG blackout that happened. Was that yesterday? What's today? Wednesday? Monday. First of all, Monday. I didn't realize that Facebook was out. For some reason, I was able to still see updates on my timeline. So I didn't realize until probably it had to be about maybe 3:30, 4 o'clock that I saw that IG and Facebook was out and Twitter was going in. Twitter was going in on Facebook. It was hilarious.
Were they?
Yes, they were going in. Now, my thing is, and I'm proud to say, I am very proud to say, I didn't miss it at all. I didn't miss it at all. Because even after it came up, you know what I'm saying, it wasn't until later on that night. It had to be well after probably 9 or 10 o'clock when I went back on and I started seeing all of these comments like, the employer got work out of y'all today and y'all finally was able to do y'all job and is everybody all right? And I was like, wait, are we that addicted to Facebook or social media in general? Like, is it really that bad?
Yes. Hell yes.
And that, if it is that bad, that is extremely, extremely sad. Extremely sad. I didn't miss it. And I was having a conversation with, I can't remember who it was. I want to say maybe it was Kissy. And I was saying, I am so close to just getting off the social. I'm so close, because it's just like, you can't say nothing without offending people and people getting upset and people getting mad and they twisting your words, and if we can't agree, then I don't like you, and people blocking people and all of that. Bruh, it's a mess out here in these social world streets. It's a mess, man, and I'm so close to just being over it. Like, you know what, but I can't, because I need to be on here when I do my radio show.
Yeah, you know what? These claps are so much better than our last claps.
They are a little bit fuller.
Is that
right?
No, but I do see what you're saying, and that's why I was telling people I'm really want to detox myself. Because when you do a detox, you should do a whole full detox. It should be emotionally, spiritually. Because if you scroll, the only thing I like TikTok timeline way better than I like Facebook timeline.
See, I'm not even on TikTok.
TikTok is funny.
Because
at least there's a whole bunch of people trying to spruce you up. You know what I mean?
Is that what it is?
I'll be honest with you. At least people acting like somebody doing. You know what I mean?
It's
Facebook
like,
is just.
I guess to me, TikTok just comes across. First of all, TikTok was created for kids, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. To me, it just seemed like TikTok is your platform for every challenge that you can think of. Now, I don't know if that's. I don't do none of them, and a lot of the ones that I see aren't funny.
Well, I know one challenge, the slap the teacher challenge, backfired on this one girl.
Now wait. I've heard of one challenge where kids are stealing stuff out of schools. They're stealing like anything from stuff off of teachers' desks to sinks and toilets and stall doors.
Funny as hell. Shout out to these brave kids.
Bruh, I need somebody to explain to me, how are you getting a toilet or a sink home? Like, how are you getting home? Are you walking down the street with this sink in your hand?
If they are great.
If you no, but I don't understand what makes that what. Now, part of me, that is kind of hilarious. That is hilarious.
Could you imagine getting
the ridiculousness
past the security guard?
Wait, how are you getting this if your parents is picking you up from school? How are they letting you in the car with this thing?
Because dumbass parents. Sorry.
How are you getting in the house and taking pictures with this thing? What do you do afterwards?
Kids
do you just throw it out?
This is my science project.
Do you just throw it outside? Do they take this stuff back? Like, what? I don't understand. I really don't understand some of the stuff that people consider good or funny. Now, that one in particular is kind of funny. That's kind of funny. But a lot of this other stuff is so lame. And people are they are living it up. Especially on TikTok. I can't stand TikTok. And I got a coworker, she be sending us stuff all the time. I'm like, this is stupid. Stop.
It is stupid, but
a lot of that stuff is not funny.
I will say they do have fun on TikTok.
Well, that's cool.
I have not yet seen somebody get killed or do crazy stuff on TikTok. You know what I mean?
Now that's awesome. And I hope they have security measures to make sure that stuff stays off of there.
I'm sure. I ain't seen nobody get beat up. You know what I mean? Nobody jumping on nobody.
I hope it stays that way. Because Facebook used to be pure and innocent. Now, almost anything goes on there. Mm-hmm. Pretty much. Mm-hmm. Pretty much, almost anything goes. So, is it bad that I hope another blackout happens?
No, because business-wise, I tell anybody who just work on Facebook and social media alone in business, they was just looking stupid. And I heard,
and I actually heard they said that there was a panic in corporate America because a lot of businesses, like people that log into their accounts through Facebook, You know what I'm saying? Like they wasn't able to do that. Now I'm not sure if you couldn't just go to the actual app of the business and log in that way. If that was an issue, but they said that there were a lot of businesses that lost a lot of money, and I think they said Zuckerberg. They said he lost millions.
They say it was $7 billion, but I doubt
billion.
it.
Oh, B with a B.
I doubt it. I mean,
that's a lot of money in a few hours.
Well, and not only that, you just think about the insurance that they had. You feel me? Here's the thing.
To cover that?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So, people in business, those that had their own website it was kind of hit.
Wow.
You just think about it. They had their own website.
So pretty much their business platform is Facebook.
Most definitely.
Nah, that's not good.
So we had podcasts going on that morning, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we can't see ourselves. So what? We still rolling on our own website, baby. Go to simplypodcasting.com.
Right.
We're like, oh, wow. Okay, yeah. We're not going to let them hold us back.
Right. Got you. Good deal. So I'm not praying or hoping that Facebook go down again, but I hope. But I hope we aren't that invested emotionally to Facebook to where
women really invested. Women was breaking down.
Based on some stuff that we just went through, it's some dudes out here.
Some dudes like, whoo, my plant girlfriend couldn't get that through. They was happy. They was happy as hell. They're like, I'm so glad. I'm so glad. I'm just gonna pray to God for forgiveness, and I'm gonna not cheat no more. I mean, but
that's funny
because a lot of plant workers get caught on that social media.
Man,
you be sitting there
get themselves in trouble.
Yeah,
saying crazy stuff, getting fired.
Yeah, I can't stand my beep supervisor. Supervisor like, oh yeah,
right. And that's they walking you to the office,
right. So you want to stick a broomstick where?
Right. So hopefully we're not too emotionally invested.
Right.
Hopefully in Facebook and all of these platforms, because Twitter has become the news cycle over the regular news.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so people stay on Twitter all day.
Well, yeah, Twitter and LinkedIn has become more powerful than they used to be.
I refuse to get caught up in LinkedIn.
Right.
I get so many emails about people inviting me to LinkedIn, you know what I'm saying, to join them or
LinkedIn is definitely for professionals.
Got you.
It's
so that's not.
It's strictly business.
I'm not professional.
You are very professional. Matter of fact, I actually imagine you as being the new ET. Like you the person. Like, thank God it's Wednesday.
Nah, I ain't. I don't see myself. Well,
I do.
I can't say that I won't, but right now, I don't see a need for it.
$100,000 every week.
If I was doing something that required, for sure. A week, for sure.
Yes. That boy make about $100,000.
Absolutely, I do it
on the average, but for sure.
But right now, no.
Okay.
No, I delete those emails. Fast.
Forward them over to me.
Got you.
Okay, please. I won't mind.
Got you. So we'll jump into the topic of the day, which is the R. Kelly story, saga, whatever you want to call it. So to keep it simple, of course we know the verdict of R. Kelly came down, and he was pretty much guilty. I think it was 16 counts or something like that. He was guilty.
That was whack.
He was. Now here's the. I have two issues. One of them is pertaining to the R. Kelly story, and then the other one we'll get into after we talk about him. The first issue that I have is I don't like the fact that he's taking the fall for a group of people that aided him in being as dysfunctional as he was. There was a ton of people that was covering him up, that was protecting him, that was setting him up with what he wanted. He had a bunch of yes people around him. Now, I always understood the law that if you were any type of participant in any crime, that you are an accessory.
A RICO law.
Yeah.
Like a RICO law with drugs.
Yeah. So I'm not understanding how he's the only one going to jail. So, yeah, he's the one that did it, and there's video and all of that, and I get that, and he should be locked up for a while. But what I don't like is the fact that everybody else that were able to, because to me, it seems like they're just as guilty in all of this as he is. And for us to not hear, nobody else is being reprimanded or disciplined for this, I think it absolutely sucks. It sucks. I hate it. I hate it. Now, the bigger issue is, and this is when I get into the conversation of there is some R. Kelly in all of us. There were three documentaries that came out about this. And all three of them went back to the beginning when R. Kelly was a kid. And they all referenced the different
sister.
Yeah. It was a sister,
a male family member,
uncle,
and male family.
You know what I'm saying? So there was a lot of abuse, sexual abuse, emotional abuse that went into Robert Kelly, the boy. You know what I'm saying? And Robert Kelly, the boy, grew into R. Kelly. Robert Kelly, the boy, grew into R. Kelly, the man, R. Kelly, the entertainer, R. Kelly, the songwriter, R. Kelly, the producer, R. Kelly, the superstar or megastar. And I think one of the biggest issues that I think we all deal with, and the R. Kelly in all of us, is the fact that we have a bit of trauma somewhere in our lives that ends up coming out and affecting our relationships with other people and how we deal with them and how we interact with them. And we always look at the person in the moment. And I think we fail to realize that a lot of people aren't acting in the moment. Well, let me say this right. I don't think we realize a lot of people, they're acting out in the moment, but really and truly, they're acting out trauma that happened way before they got to you. You know, and we kind of lose sight of that. Now, I'm not saying everybody, I'm not saying the R. Kelly that's in all of us is out here, you know, going after young girls and peeing on them and all of that crazy crap. I ain't talking about that. That is
preposterous.
That's going way over the top. But I'm talking about the trauma in general. There are a lot of things that happen to us when we're young, and we feel like it's not necessarily affecting us until we do something, and then we realize, and then you start doing homework and you start talking to people and you try to get help, and you realize that seed was placed in you a long, long time ago. You know what I'm saying? We get upset when, women feel like they have to teach a man to be a man. Well, or to teach them how to be a husband, or teach them how to, how to do certain things. But they don't realize that that was somebody else's responsibility years ago, and they didn't do it. And so now you're frustrated, you're upset, you're mad, your patience and your tolerance level is low because now you're dealing with people that didn't get the training that they should have had. And I'll reference the scripture that I was going to bring up. There's and I'm pretty sure I've told this story when we was doing this show a couple of years ago. There was a little boy by the name of Mephibosheth, and they were after him, and his caretaker or nurse heard about it, picked him up, and they was trying to run. And in the fact of her trying to get away, she dropped him. And in the process of dropping him, when she dropped him to the point where he became debilitated. He became lame. He couldn't walk no more. Now, we don't realize that a lot of us are lame in areas of life because we were dropped in certain areas. A lot of us was dropped emotionally. Some of us was dropped by our parents that didn't know how to love us and train us because maybe they was a single mother and they didn't have time to really raise you and rear you like they were supposed to because they was too busy trying to make sure that the light stayed on. You might have been dropped by your dad because he didn't have a dad in his life because his dad was the breadwinner. And so he had to work 50, 60, 70 hours while the mom took care of 5 kids. You know what I'm saying? And so by the time he got home, all he wanted to do was eat and go to sleep because he had to repeat that cycle. And so there was no father figure in the home to where they understood what man looked like. So a lot of us, the only thing that constitutes as being a man is going to work. That's it. Because that's all they knew their dad to do. To go to work and give whoopings when the mom didn't want to do it. Pretty much. And so there has been a lot of dropping and that has turned into trauma, you know what I'm saying, in our lives. There are a lot of people, and it's not just as a little kid. You can grow up and you could have been in a great home with all of the rearing and teaching and discipline and loving and care in the world. And then you get out here and you start experiencing stuff totally different than what you were raised in, and that turns into trauma. That turns into trauma. What about the family that grew up and everything seemed to be good, everything seemed to be on the up and up, and as soon as you graduate and you go away to college, you get a phone call from your mom and your dad say, hey, me and your dad, we're not together no more. And you sitting there thinking like, well, wait, I thought everything was cool. I thought everything was great. You know what I'm saying? I go away to school and now I'm getting a phone call while I'm in college talking about y'all not together no more. Only to find out that y'all were only staying together because of me. That's trauma. And so now you looking at relationships like, well, if what I thought was right or what I thought was good was not good, what exactly is good? Is it good to stay together for the sake of the kids? Because it seemed to work out for me, you know what I'm saying, to get to where I am. But was it worth it?
I think that's when kids start to feel betrayed.
Oh, for sure.
Children, and one thing I learned too about females be like, you was together with my dad, and it gives a different perspective in the bad overtone for the father. You know what I mean? Because 9 times out of 10, it was a situation where maybe the father cheated, right? But all comes out was that he cheated, and he went. So she was like, you telling me you not to deal with a man like this? My father did it to you. and you saying y'all been lying to me for the past 4 years, but I made a mistake a couple of times, and y'all jumped down my throat. So it becomes regretful on both ends. Now the daughter want to question the daddy.
Yeah.
Why my mama?
Or you have some women and some men too, but more the narrative is always directed towards the women.
Yeah.
That seen their mom abused, and they feel like, or they think that if I'm not being abused, then I'm not being loved.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? There are so many different levels and examples of what trauma is and what it does, and I think we really, I think we live so much in the moment and our feelings and what we think and what we want and what makes us feel good, that we kind of ignore. We don't ignore the actions of the person in the moment, but I think we ignore the background. And I think sometimes I don't think we intentionally do it. I just don't think we're aware enough to try to understand, why are you doing this? Why are you talking this way?
I agree.
Why do you think this way?
I agree.
What happened? You know what I'm saying? What happened to you? So now, you know, there's a conversation about, what is it? PSD?
Whatever. Post
stress. Yeah. What, that.
PSD. Post traumatic.
Post stress.
PTSD.
PTSD. Post
traumatic syndrome.
Stress.
Disorder,
yeah.
whatever.
That. The
Patata.
the so that, you know what I'm saying, that's now becoming a thing. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people say it jokingly, but of course there's some truth to it. And so I think now people are becoming aware of it. And so I think the conversation is starting to shift. But I think the conversation is only, I don't want to say only, the conversation seems to be shifting in a direction of the people that offends us. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if there is enough of us taking inventory of our own trauma. And because what we don't realize is we're all doing nothing but bleeding on each other. And that's pretty much all we're doing. We all have open wounds that have never been healed. And all we're doing is we're just passing our blood around. And so now all of us are feeling the same way, and we're all thinking the same way because we all have our DNA intertwined with each other. Because we've been doing nothing but bleeding on each other for day after day, month after month, year after year.
That don't even sound...
It's not sanitary at all.
That's sanitary.
No, it's not. It's not. But neither is our society.
Good answer.
You know what I'm saying? Our society is tainted. And it's tainted with selfishness. It's tainted with pride. It's I want to stop short of saying that the world is ugly, because it's not. There are some great people out here, but even some of your best people deal with trauma, and they deal with issues that aren't resolved. They deal with issues that people ignore because of what you can provide for them, i.e. and R. Kelly. Because as long as he was able to pass out checks, they probably felt obligated to keep their mouth closed about what they knew wasn't right. And I think just because we aren't able to pay people to shut up in our lives, sometimes what we provide for them emotionally still gives them a sense of, well, since he's providing something for me, I have a sense of responsibility to cover for him. Right. Or to cover for her. You know what I'm saying? Or to not say nothing. And I think because of that, people don't really seek healing and help for issues that they have. You know what I'm saying? Like, I remember growing up, hearing that talking to a therapist was, why do you need to talk to a therapist? Oh, you just need to pray. You just need to go to God and pray. Yeah, you do. You need to talk to God and a professional.
All day.
You know what I'm saying? And I was one that felt like I didn't necessarily have to talk to nobody until I realized I should probably talk to somebody. You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't until I started talking to a professional that he started putting some perspective and giving me some clarity on a lot of emotional issues that I had. I remember, I don't remember. It was last night. Last night, I was up in the middle of the night. I am the worst. I hate taking naps, but when I take a nap, I end up being up all night. And so I'm up in the middle of the night, and of course there was nothing on TV. And so I was getting ready to start writing, and I didn't start writing because I was thinking of, you know what I'm saying, what is it that I want to talk about if I start to write. And in the midst of me thinking, I came to a conclusion about myself that set off an alarm. And the conclusion that I came to is I'm emotionally toxic. Yeah.
Okay, hold on.
What
do you mean by that?
I came to I'm emotionally toxic. And this is what I mean by that. We have and I think next week, because all of this came to me last night. Next week, I think I'm going to start a conversation about communication conflict in relationship. So the premise of me feeling like I'm emotionally toxic comes from my inability to feel like my feelings only matter if it's positive. If I feel like me sharing what I feel or what I think is helpful. And if I don't feel like if I'm going to share something about how I feel or what I think that's not going to be helpful, I feel no need to talk about it. But a lot of times, even those things that you don't feel are helpful to a situation are helpful to people that you're in relationship with, to help them understand who you are, how you think, what is some of the issues and traumas that you've lived through, that you've overcome, that you're still dealing with. And a lot of times I don't want to say we, I'm talking about me. Sometimes I don't necessarily feel the need to share if I don't think it's going to help anything. I've never been one to just start talking, you know what I'm saying, about how I feel.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And to me, that comes across as being toxic, because now I'm not giving anybody I'm in relationship the opportunity to learn about me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And when you don't give people that you're in relation, and I'm not just talking about, you know what I'm saying, boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife. I'm talking about any type of relationship, whether it's friends, whether it's family, whether it's coworker, business partner. I'm just talking about relationship in general, because life is full of relationships. That's one of the greatest gifts that we have, is relationship. We have choice and we have relationship. Those are the two greatest gifts I think we have. And I think a lot of times I withhold goodness in a relationship because I'm not always comfortable sharing what I feel and what I think. And I will admit that I think I'm more aware of it now, but it's a bigger struggle because there have been quite a few times where I decided to trust the person that I'm with or trust the person that I'm talking to open up. And the conversation flopped or it switched or it became about them and not so much about what I felt or what I think.
Right. So basically, you left yourself open for a non-closure.
Yeah. But a lot of and that could be an expectation of mine that was off base, because sometimes you don't necessarily need closure when you're having an open discussion about what you think. You know what I'm saying? Because there should be no conclusion to that.
Yeah, because when you say I think, that means you have an option that could change. Yeah,
and you're just sharing your opinion based on what you think or your observations or your preference. You know what I'm saying? So it could be, you know what I'm saying? It could be that my expectations of what I was sharing led me to feel like what I was sharing didn't matter. And a lot of times for guys, when we talk about what we feel, the response doesn't come back to us like it matters.
Very true.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, I hear you, but we always get the but. And it's like, after a while, I don't
want to hear but.
I don't want to hear but. Right. You know what I'm saying? I don't care. You know what I'm saying? But to us only means one thing. Well, two, but.
Yeah. And we can't say it on this station.
We can't say it on this station. But the but that we don't want to hear all the time is the one that comes after how we feel or what we think. You know what I'm saying?
I used to get that a lot in a relationship. You just did it, but if. That but if.
So now you about to create a scenario or a situation to tailor your perspective.
Your own ideology.
You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
And so.
But ifs mean my keys on the table. But that's what a but if can leave, like my keys on the table, or you can leave your keys on the table.
But I get, you know what I'm saying. But I'm starting to understand, you know what I'm saying, that and I think here's the twisted part. The twisted part is I listen to you all day. You know what I'm saying? Talk about how you feel, what you think, what's your perspective, what's your opinion. You know what I'm saying? You ask me questions. Yeah, I got answers, you know what I'm saying? And if I don't have an answer, I'm like, hey, I don't know about that. Right. You know what I'm saying? Now, I think or I feel.
For those people that's tuning in, you talking about the female.
Oh, period.
Oh, period.
Yeah, period.
Or friendship.
Period. Any type of relationship. Friendship, marriage, boyfriend, girlfriend, coworker, cousin, auntie, nephew. You know what I'm saying? It don't matter, because
you just saying you don't mind being the listener.
I don't mind being the listener. Period. You know what I'm saying? At all. But when it comes to me sharing, like initiating,
right,
how I feel about something, is very few and far and in between, especially if it pertains to me.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? If it pertains to me. Now, you know, I can sit and I can just out the blue be like, hey, you know, people have such a different perspective of peace and what all of this means. You know what I'm saying? I can have that type of that conversation. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But for me to sit down and be like, to talk about me and what I feel about what's going on with me or in me, you know what I'm saying? It's hard to do, because I've experienced rejection when it comes to when I talk about how I feel.
Right.
And that has made me emotionally toxic. You know what I'm saying?
Damn, I ain't never look at it. If that's the case, that's how I am too.
You know what I'm saying? It makes me.
Would that be a form of neediness?
No. If it's I feel it's the opposite. Especially in relationship with other people. You know what I'm saying? I've heard quite a few times, you know what I'm saying, I always feel like I tell you everything, but you don't really say nothing. You know what I'm saying? I hear that a lot.
I have heard that
from a lot of different people. You know what I'm saying? Right. From a lot of different people. You know what I'm saying? After I got off the radio show last week, I couldn't even get to the crowd before I got a text message like, hey, so wait, what's going on with you? I heard you had a health condition. Like, what's, because I don't talk about it. You know what I'm saying? There's very few people
who know.
You know what I'm saying? Who knew? You know what I'm saying? And you know what I'm saying? Like I said, thank God I'm on the good side of it. But
thank God.
You know what I'm saying? But I just don't. That's just never.
Then you taking
that's never
pictures.
Been my MO.
Taking pictures while you're in the hospital.
No.
Talking about this.
No.
Talking about pray for me.
No.
I'm like,
and thank God I've never had to stay in the hospital for nothing.
I was just in the hospital, so I took a picture. I ain't posted on, and so I just let people know who know. I'm good. I'm chilling.
Right.
And I was like, it's so crazy how people get on there and start crying. Like, I don't know if I'm gonna make it. I want y'all to pray for me. And I told people sometimes, you don't want everybody praying for you.
Man.
Because God might be like, that's what you gonna do.
I mean, you can ask him to pray, but it's up to him to answer. And typically he answers based on his relationship with you. Ooh. So you can ask for whoever you want. It's up to him whether he gonna listen to him. And it's up to you whether you praying for yourself. Because I know a lot of people, they ask prayer, you know what I'm saying, from other people, but because they feel like they've probably been in the outs with God, that they don't feel like they deserve to go to him in prayer. No. If you asking people that you ain't sure about to pray for you, you throw some up too. Yeah.
If I need somebody to pray for me, I'm just going to call you because you Jesus' best friend. No. And Jesus be like, oh, Cap, you? For you? My God. Whatever.
That's funny. Wait, I don't know if I'm...
What if Jesus was your God for real? Like,
okay,
he come to your job and give you dap and everything. Like,
I was wondering if I was getting any comments.
Have you?
I'm getting comments, but they're not coming up on my screen on my iPad.
Because they right on the page of podcasting.
Got you.
So what are some comments you getting?
So this is wow.
He said, wow.
Okay, I'm sorry. I don't. Okay. It's a lot.
You like skip that one.
So I'll leave this right here, and hopefully they come up as. But so me having a conversation with myself last night. Just kind of helped me center. It actually was confirmation that I was on the right track in talking about the R. Kelly issue and the trauma that a lot of us have. And the term emotionally toxic, it hit different last night when I was thinking about myself, because I think we play into our emotions, and instead of trying to understand why we feel a certain way, the only thing we concern ourselves with is responding in how we feel. And I think when we respond in how we feel, that has too much. It has too much influence in other areas of our life where it shouldn't. So if I have a issue with how somebody talks to me, and I'm talking somebody specific, if we just can't come eye to eye with how we're communicating with each other, that irritation starts bleeding over into other things, other conversations sure. and relationships, and you start seeing them like what you don't like about this person, and they don't even come at you the same way,
right?
But because you have a certain feeling about how you want people to talk to you, you start diagnosing everybody's conversations towards you through that filter. And in some ways, and I say this all the time, we listen to people how we feel and not necessarily what they say. It's
True.
not, you know what I'm saying? It's not necessarily always what they say, it's how we hear it. And most of the times we're listening through our emotions and not our ears.
Ooh. Good one.
You know what I'm
Very
saying?
true.
And so we start to bleed. You know what I'm saying? Well, I don't want to say we start to bleed, but we start to allow our emotions to filter into other aspects, into other relationships. And it creates a conflict within yourself, because now you aren't making sure that you're processing what you hear properly. Now your issue is how everybody else is talking to you and communicating with you. And so next week I'm gonna start the conversation on communication, conflicts, and relationships. And I got quite a few thoughts on that. And a lot of that is based on trauma. And so I think what we need to work on, and this is something that I'm working on today. I'm actually gonna have today. I got a conversation lined up in my head that I need to have, but I understand that in order for me to have effective and fruitful relationships across the board, I have to do a better job of letting people into my world. You know what I'm saying? And I have people in my life, but I don't necessarily let them in my world. And I know a lot of people look to me for my perspective. People enjoy my perspective and how I think and how I see stuff and how I process stuff. And I'm appreciative and I'm grateful for that. A lot of times I don't understand why, I guess because it's a natural process for me.
It's your anointment, brother.
Amen. To God be the glory. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times I struggle because, you know, and I hate to say it this way, but there are times I struggle with the fact that God has allowed me to be a voice. I don't know where it reaches, and I'm not really concerned about that. But there are times I struggle with people that don't mind hearing what I have to say, and they value what I have to say. But I also understand that it shouldn't always be a one-way street. Now, do I have to learn and pick and choose, you know, who I decide to share what with? Absolutely. But I think I have to be more intentional of letting people in my world based on how I feel, so people feel like they have a relationship with me and they're not just talking to a therapist or somebody that gives advice. Right. You know what I'm saying? And that's what establishes true relationship. And so I understand that I have to work on. You know what I'm saying? And it's not just people. Like, my family would tell you. I mean, my family, my mom and dad and sister and brother, they will tell you, you know, Capree don't really talk. Capree don't really say a whole lot. You know, I mean, you know, he talk when he ready. You know what I'm saying? They will tell you. I've just never been that one to just randomly sit you down like, you know what, this is what I think, this is how I'm feeling. You know what I'm saying? Like, That's never me. Now, I've never had a problem answering questions because you asked me, you gonna get the answer. You know what I'm saying? You gonna get the answer. But to just randomly and openly, you know what I'm saying, just that's never been me. And I understand that's toxic when you want to have fruitful relationships.
True that.
You know what I'm saying? And so that's definitely something that I am working on. Okay. So I have, and this is all kissy. I'm gonna read. I don't know if I should read all of these. Some of this I don't even wait. Okay. All right. I'm rambling on radio because I'm trying to pick through. Or somebody is your girl or your homeboy. I don't know. I have a great therapist. She cusses, so I'm there for it. I love the transparency. That's my dog. Thank you. She said that's good. I'm not sure why. Oh, I know I'm guilty of that sometimes. I'm sorry. I don't know. I don't know. Teeth pulling is human truth. I don't want anybody praying for me that I'm not praying for myself. Got you. My mom was watching. Hey, Ma. Hi, Mom. Cap is my go-to prayer to the person that prayed with me. Aw. Absolutely. Translation, interpretation, runs communication. Is that a man thing? I get that for a lot of men, friends, family, and in previous relationships. I'm not sure what part of that is a man thing. Unless you were referring to the part where men feel like their feelings aren't hurt, or the conversation switches when we do feel the need to open up and express ourselves. The conversation definitely doesn't stay on his feelings and his thoughts. Is that a man thing though? Does it go back to men being told to suck things up a lot? I don't know if I don't know. I don't know. But what I do know is we're gonna address that and a whole lot of other stuff next week on communication, conflict, in relationships. It's gonna get heavy, but it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. We're gonna wrap this week up. I appreciate everybody for watching on Facebook, listening online, worldwide. Yeah. We'll be back next week, same time, same place. Until next week, be good. If you're not going to be good, be careful. Peace.